So welcome to this evening's Vinyasa yoga practice. It's going to be a really slow, focused flow this evening. You will need a block or a stack of books or something, maybe a DVD box set or something like that, that's going to help with propping. If you don't have one of these, then hopefully you'll be able to make it through without it, or you have the flexibility to not use block. So coming into a comfortable seated position, whatever that is for you. Allowing the hands to fall on the knees or on the thighs. Drawing the shoulders back and down. Drawing the chin towards the chest, lengthening through the spine as if someone's drawing you from the crown of your head towards the sky. And just becoming aware here of any tension you may feel in your physical body. Noticing how you feel in this exact moment in time. Seeing if you can check in here with how your body feels or how your mind feels. Becoming aware of the present moment. Drawing the awareness inwards towards your breath. Allowing the breath to be your guide, to stay as calm, relaxed and as still as possible for the next 5 deep inhales and exhales. Maybe allowing the shoulders to relax a little more on the next exhale, allowing the chin to fall a little closer to the chest. And then noticing the connection points between you and your mat. Noticing the stability and the grounding there. And then slowly draw the hands into the center of the chest in Anjali Mudra. Palms pressed together, thumbs pressed against the heart space. Bowing the head towards the hands and setting yourself a goal or intention for the rest of the practice. So whatever that may be, setting that now. And then slowly flickering the eyes open and release the hands. Starting this evening in what's called square pose or easy pose. You're going to take the shins parallel to each other. The right heel in front of the left knee and the left heel behind the right knee. So exactly in a square position. From here you're going to inhale. Maybe flashing the sit bones first. You're going to sit forward on the hips. If you need to sit on the edge of a block or a book, then please do. You're going to allow the knees to relax down as much as you can. Lengthen through the crown of the head. And on the inhale, sweep the hands all the way up. Shoulders away from the ears. Hands come shoulder width apart, reaching through the fingertips. Then on the exhale, draw the navel and begin to fold forward. Again, coming down as far as feels comfortable. Really reaching through the fingertips, finding length in the spine, pressing the hips back on the exhale, taking 3 breaths here. Noticing where you're feeling the tension here in your body. Can you direct your breath to the area of tension and allow the exhale to take some of it away? On the next inhale, sweep the hands all the way back, reach them all the way up to the ceiling. And on the exhale, slowly releasing the hands down to the mat. You're going to take the right foot out in front, the sole of the left foot to the inside of the thigh. Again, if you need a slight bend in the right foot here, you can. And if you'd prefer to have your foot straight out in front, you're more than welcome. From here, you're just going to begin to butterfly out that left knee, feeling the stretch through the inside of the leg. Sitting up nice and tall, pointing the right toes towards the face. Again, if you need a slight bend in the knee, that's totally fine. You're going to inhale, sweep the hands all the way to the ceiling. On the exhale, you're going to press the left knee down and begin to fold forward over that straight leg. Again, it doesn't matter where you come to, it doesn't matter if you touch your foot or the hands are on the mat. You're drawing the shoulders back, lengthening through the spine. And on the exhale, folding a little bit deeper. Inhale, lengthen, and exhale, fold a little bit deeper. Again, it doesn't matter how low you can go here, feeling a stretch down the back of the right leg. Inhale, sweep the hands back, just next to the hips. You're going to take the opposite shin in front this time, so the one that you normally don't do. Opposite shin comes in front. Again, this time my right foot is in front of my left knee and the left foot is behind the other knee. You're going to inhale, sweep all the way up. On the exhale, press the knees down, draw the navel in, folding forward, feeling a stretch on the opposite side this time. Again, lengthen through the spine, halfway lift. And on the exhale, folding a little bit deeper. Taking 3 deep inhales and exhales here, just feeling into whatever stretch you're feeling on the outsides of the hips here. On the next inhale, sliding the hands all the way back. This time you're going to release the left foot to the side or out in front, whichever way you prefer. Sole of the right foot to the inside of the thigh, and again you're going to butterfly out that right knee, feeling the stretch to the inside of the hip, just allowing that external rotation in the hip. You're going to inhale, lengthen, draw the navel in. Again, if you have a slight bend in the left knee here, that's totally fine. You're going to inhale, sweep the hands all the way up. Again, drawing the navel in, reaching forward, really round, not rounding, lengthening through the spine. Again, maybe pressing that right knee down to the mat. Hands can come to the mat, hands can come to the floor or to the foot. Inhale, lengthen, and on the exhale, folding a little bit deeper. Again, trying to keep the leg as straight as you can, feeling the stretch down the back of the left leg. Inhale, lengthen, and exhale, folding a little bit deeper. Slowly releasing the hands back through center. You can bend both knees, taking the soles of the feet to the mat. We're just slowly going to rock the knees from side to side, releasing the hips and the hamstrings. From here, coming into your cat-cow position. Hands and knees. Hands underneath the shoulders, knees underneath the hips. Fingers are spread wide, really spreading the fingers wide as much as you can. Maybe sitting back on the heels here and just doing this movement 5 times. You're going to really spread the fingers as far apart as you can, really stretching through the muscles in the tops of the hands. From here again, releasing hands underneath the shoulders, knees underneath the hips, nice neutral spine, and just taking a couple of rocks forward and back, nice fluid movement, stretching into the wrists. You may like to begin to bring some movement into the hips here as well, whatever feels good for your body. Coming back to a neutral position, we're going to begin to allow the belly to fall, slowly circling around, getting a nice different movement here into the hips, maybe rocking the hips from side to side, doing whatever again feels good for you, allowing the belly to fall. On the inhale, arch the spine and look up, and on the exhale, beginning to round the spine. Tuck the tailbone under, look towards the navel. Inhale, and exhale around the spine. Nice fluid movement with your own breath. Inhale, and exhale, slowly rounding the spine. Drawing the navel in, press towards the ceiling. Inhale, and exhale, rounding the spine. 3 more. Inhale, allow the belly to fall. Really draw the sternum forward, shoulders back. And on the exhale, beginning to round the spine, pressing through the middle of the shoulder blades all the way to the ceiling. Inhale. And exhale, around the spine. Last one. Make it the best. Inhale. Exaggerated movement. Really press the chest forward, shoulders back. Exhale, around the spine. Slowly tucking the toes at the back of the mat. You're slowly going to begin to sit back onto the heels. And again, just getting a nice plantar fascia stretch here. Really sitting back if you can. If you need your hands in the mat and the hips slightly off the toes or off the heels, then that's totally fine. If you think you can stick it for a few breaths, then more than welcome to sit back on the heels. Again, lengthening through the spine here, drawing the navel in, nice, strong stretch through the soles of the feet. Again, taking 3 breaths here, maybe rocking from side to side if you feel brave. Just allowing this deep stretch to happen, giving a little bit of attention to the feet. On the next inhale, you're going to arch the spine, bring the hands as far back as you can. And on the exhale, begin to round the spine, taking the hands forward, chin to the chest, and slowly begin to roll the body all the way down until the hands meet the mat. You're going to untuck the toes, take a little gentle wobble from side to side. From here, we're slowly going to make our way into a child's pose. So again, knees can be a little bit wider than the hips here if you want. You can take the arms as wide as you want on the mat. Just taking 2 deep inhales and exhales here. Coming back to that intention that you set at the beginning of the practice. Coming back to your breath in the present moment. And then slowly taking the hands back to shoulder width apart. You're going to slide the hands forward, lifting the hips. So coming into what's called Anahatasana or puppy pose. Again, you can have the hands as wide here as you wish, allowing the chin and the chest to come down to the mat. If this is too strong, then you're more than welcome to come forward into a Sphinx position. Again, taking 3 deep inhales and exhales here, lifting the chest forward, forehead or chin on the mat. And then slowly bringing the hands back in if you've moved them to the side. You're going to keep sliding forward until you can't slide anymore. You're going to come forward onto the forearms, allow the hips to come down to the mat into your Sphinx pose. And again, the feet can come together. You can have them slightly wider if you wish, depending on how it feels in your body. Looking for a stretch here in the front of the body, the front of the chest into the abs. Again, pressing the tops of the feet into the mat, turning the thighs inward, squeezing the glute muscles, using the lower back muscles to draw the shoulders back and lift the chest. Sphinx pose, 2 breaths. From here, slowly lifting the hips, tuck the tailbone under. You're going to begin to press the hips back, sliding the hands all the way back with you. You can drag them a little bit just like I did, all the way back into your child's pose. Slowly begin to roll all the way up to your seated position. And again, tucking the toes one more time, sitting back on the heels and just taking 3 deep inhales and exhales here as we stretch deep into the plantar fascia. Connecting with the present moment and that the stretch here is just temporary. Can you use your breath to guide you through it? Coming through the flow once more. You're going to inhale, send the hands back, chest comes forward, arch the spine, maybe looking up this time. On the exhale, beginning to round the spine, draw the navel in, hands come forward to meet. Slowly taking the hands or fingertips to the floor, chin to the chest, hands meet the mat. Untucking the toes gently, taking a gentle rock of the feet from side to side. Hips come to the heels, slide the hands forward into your child's pose. And again, maybe taking the hands wider here if you wish, if it feels nicer on the shoulders. Slowly walking the hands back into the center. You're going to begin to slide forward again into your puppy pose or Anahatasana. And again, finding here what feels good for your body. Maybe the hands a little bit wider than the shoulders here will feel a little bit better. Lifting the hips towards the ceiling. Draw the navel in, arching the spine. Maybe the chin or the forehead comes to the mat. 2 breaths. Slowly walking the hands back to shoulder width apart. I'm going to slide forward a little bit more and then slowly bring the body down into a Sphinx pose. Again, feet can be together or apart. Shoulders drawn back. Nice length in the spine through the crown of the head. You're going to press the tops of the feet into the mat, squeeze the glutes, roll the thighs inward, draw the shoulders back and chest forward. You can look up or look straight ahead. Again, nice tensing into the lower back area, drawing the arm bones and the shoulders back. On the exhale, slowly release the stretch, lift the hips and begin to slide again all the way back into your child's pose. Relaxing the body down here, lengthening through the fingertips, feeling the stretch under the arms. And then slowly beginning to roll the body all the way back up to a seated position. Inhale, sweep the hands all the way back. On the exhale, rounding the spine, taking the fingers again once more down to the mat, rolling forward until you come to your child's pose. Bringing the hips above the knees, hands underneath the shoulders. Coming into our first downward facing dog of the class. Feet are hip distance, hands are underneath the shoulders, fingers are spread wide. Tucking the toes, just like we did for our toe stretch or plantar fascia stretch. Going to inhale, lift the knees. On the exhale, sending the hips towards the ceiling, maybe lengthening through the hands here and just readjusting the position. Bending the knees as much as you need to get the chest on the thighs and then lifting the hips towards the ceiling. From here, you may begin to pedal out the feet or pedal out the knees and the feet. And again, just feeling this stretch down the backs of the hamstrings. Maybe rocking slightly from side to side here, feeling the stretch. And then finding a moment of stillness here in your downward facing dog. Adho Mukha Svanasana, coming back to your breath, back to that present moment. And then slowly from here, rocking forward on the toes, bringing these shoulders above the hands. You're going to begin to come onto the tops of the feet, lowering the hips into your up dog position. Hands underneath the shoulders, knees, thighs are lifted, reaching the crown of the head towards the ceiling. Nice, strong back bend. On the next inhale, lifting the hips, untucking the toes, hips up and back, downward facing dog. 3 deep inhales and exhales here. Lowering the knees down. Once again, slowly rolling the spine all the way up. Another 3 breaths here in your toe stretch position. Getting some nice gentle stretches here to the soles of the feet. You can rock slightly forward and back or side to side, whichever feels like a better stretch for you. Maybe even just gentle circles. And then slowly begin to walk the hands back out into your hands and knees position. Coming back to your downward facing dog, you're going to inhale, lift the knees. On the exhale, hips come up and back. Again, maybe a slight bend in the knees here is more feasible for your body, and that's okay once you're getting length in the spine. Pressing through the hands, lifting the hips towards the ceiling. And again, really feeling into the stretch here, allowing the hamstrings to feel it the most. On the next inhale, coming up onto the toes, allowing the shoulders to come above the wrists. Again, untucking the toes here. You can flip over the toes if you wish. Allowing the hips to sink, shoulders come back, chest forward into your up dog position. Again, here you can modify into a sphinx if you prefer, lifting the head towards the ceiling. And on the exhale, lifting the hips all the way up, tucking the toes back again into your downward facing dog. And again, maybe taking a pedal of the feet if that feels good, lifting the hips as high as you can. And then slowly walking the hands all the way back, nice bend in the knees, chest on the thighs, taking hold of opposite elbows here as you dangle in your ragdoll pose. Slowly releasing the hands and rolling the body all the way up to a standing position. From here, you're going to inhale, allow the hands to come back, just like they did in our seated position. On the exhale, rounding through the spine, fingertips come forward, and then follow the fingertips, chin to the chest, all the way back down. Nice bend in the knees, hands come to the mat, walking the hands back out into your downward facing dog. Again, lifting the hips as high as you can. Inhale, coming forward on the toes. Once again, maybe untucking if you need to. Lowering the hips down, hands under the shoulders. Knees, thighs lifted, strong through the legs, strong through the upper body. Lift towards the ceiling, up dog. And on the exhale, hips come up and back. Downward facing dog. 3 more breaths. Slowly walking the hands all the way back. This time maybe taking a deeper bend forward as you begin to straighten the legs slightly, if it feels comfortable. From here, slowly rolling the body again all the way up to standing. Inhale, arch the spine, hands come back, looking up. And on the exhale, rounding through the spine, fingertips come towards the mat, literally diving forward until the hands reach the mat. Walking back to your downward facing dog. Last time through the flow, again, lifting the hips as high as you can, feeling the stretch in the hamstrings. Inhale, coming forward on the toes, maybe untucking if you can. Slowly lowering the hips, shoulders over the hands. Knees, thighs are lifted, upward facing dog. Lift towards the ceiling, strong through the arms. And on the exhale, hips come up and back. Downward facing dog, last one. Again, 3 deep inhales and exhales here. Coming back to that intention. Coming back to your focus. Try to find some steadiness, some ease within the downward dog. And then slowly coming forward on the toes. This time allowing the knees to come down on the mat. Untucking the toes and sitting back onto the heels. From here, getting a little bit of a counter stretch to our toe stretch. We're just going to begin to lift. You can take your left hand down on the mat underneath the left shoulder. Lift the right knee off the mat and just feel the stretch into the front of the toes. Again, you can go as high here as feels comfortable for you. Maybe taking a gentle rock from side to side will give you a better stretch. Allowing that knee to come down. Lifting the left one up. And then slowly release the back down. Here's where you're going to need your block, maybe. If you can, you're going to shift the right heel outside of the right glute and allow the right glute to come down on the mat. If that's not feasible for your body, then you're going to stack as many books as you can underneath that right hip. And you're going to begin to straighten the left one forward. So again, coming into this position when you've got your left leg out straight and the right knee is bent next to the body. So again, heel is next to the body and not underneath. If you need the block, then stay there. Otherwise, you can bring the glutes down onto the mat. From here, you're going to shift the weight forward on the hips, lift towards the ceiling. And on the exhale, slowly fold forward towards that leg. Again, you have the option here to bend that left knee as much as you can. Inhale, lengthen, and on the exhale, folding a little bit deeper. Again, 3 breaths here. Inhale, lengthen, and exhale, folding in. Slowly walking the hands back again. If you've got the block underneath the hip here, we're slowly going to walk the hands back and just allow this stretch in the front of the hip here to happen. If that's enough for you, stay where you are. If you have the flexibility to have your glute down on the mat, then you're more than welcome to come down onto the elbows, but not if you have a block underneath. Coming down onto the elbows or maybe coming all the way down to the mat. Again, feeling that nice deep stretch into the front of the quad muscle. Maybe taking the hands overhead And just taking 4 deep inhales and exhales here. And slowly release the hands, slowly making your way back up, whichever version that you are in. And you're going to release that right leg forward, again shaking out the feet if you need to. Taking the left one behind, again option here to sit onto a block or to books or whatever feels comfortable. From here you're going to inhale, shift the weight forward on the hips, reaching all the way to the ceiling. Nice bend in the knee if you need it. If not, then you can come all the way down. And again, stretching through the back of the leg here. Toes pointed towards the face. You're going to inhale, lengthen. And on the exhale, folding a little bit deeper. Inhale, lengthen. And exhale to fold. Taking 3 breaths here in your deepest folded position. And then slowly begin to slide the hands back. Again, option here if you've got your hands or your hips on a block. You're just going to walk the hands back and allow the stretch to happen in the front of the left quad. If you don't have the block and you're in this position, then you can come down onto your forearms. And if you're not getting enough of a stretch here in the front of the left quad, then you're allowed to come all the way down to the mat if it feels comfortable. Again, nice deep stretch through the front of the thigh here, maybe taking hands overhead and taking 4 deep inhales and exhales here. Really pressing that left knee towards the mat. And then slowly beginning to walk all the way back up. If you have the block underneath the sit bones here, taking both feet behind and just walking the hands back. You may be able to come onto the forearms, but that's as far as you'll go in this position. If you've got any pinching in the lower back, then come back onto the hands. Looking for a stretch in the fronts of the quads. If you have the flexibility, then you are more than welcome to come into the full posture here. Knees can be together or slightly apart, but the knees shouldn't be lifting off the mat. Coming onto the forearms first. And again, stretching through the quads here, feeling the stretch. If you think you can take it a little further, then you can come all the way down to the mat. Again, try not to lift the knees up here. And then if you feel comfortable, taking the hands overhead. And just again, checking in with this deep stretch into the fronts of the hips. Into the lower ab muscles, into the knees, into the shins, the feet. Maybe into the underarms, the chest and the shoulders, depending on any tension you've built. Just taking 3 more deep inhales and exhales here. And then very, very gently coming back out the way you came. Chin to the chest, pressing to the elbows and the forearms. You can slowly walk the hands forward and lift the hips and take the feet out from underneath the body, straightening out the legs. Again, taking a shake of the legs if you need to. Slowly making your way down onto your back. Drawing the knees into the chest. Really drawing the knees into the chest, pointing the toes towards the back of the room. Pressing the lower back and hips down to the mat as you draw the knees into the chest. Activating all of the muscles of the leg. Draw the shoulders down to the mat. Chin to the chest. And then slowly lift the forehead to the knees and squeeze everything for 3, 2, 1. And release. Coming into your final Shavasana. Taking the feet wide to the edges of your mat. Hands down by your sides, palms face up. Just checking in here with how you're feeling once again. Noticing any energy we've created in the body. Maybe noticing, is there any remaining areas of tension in the body or in the mind? Taking a deep inhale. On the exhale, open them out, release. Inhale. And exhale, release. So allowing the body to be here, to switch off from the outside world for the remainder of the practice. Draw the awareness internally to your breath or to the gaps between your thoughts. Observing what's going on inside for you, relaxing a little further with each exhale for the next few moments of your Shavasana. And you can stay where you are and take a recommended longer Shavasana. Or you can begin to move the fingers and toes, gently turning the head from side to side. Allowing the feet to come together, hands come overhead, stretching through the entire body, fingertips to toes. On the exhale, slowly rolling to a side of your choice. Taking a moment here to notice the tension that we have melted away this evening. Noticing that the practice and the tension you felt within each stretch was just temporary. And then noticing how your breath guided you through the practice. Keeping the eyes closed, you can press the floor away. Coming back to that comfortable seated position at the beginning of the practice. Hands in prayer in the center of the chest. Bowing the head towards the hands and setting yourself an intention, goal, mantra, whatever it is for the rest of the evening. Then slowly flickering the eyes open, taking one last deep inhale, raising the hands all the way up. Drawing the thumbs to the third eye point for clarity of thought, to the lips for honesty of speech, and to the heart space with the divine in me, honors the divine in you. Namaste. Thank you so much for joining me as always. If you're staying for yin, then I will be back in